Gamers, we're back this time around with Elaser versus Vortix. Now, something unimaginable has happened. Something crazy has happened. Elaser beat Vortix in one game. Now, obviously, people were talking about it. People wanted me to review the game, check it out, and all that. So we're here to do that. And then give my honest opinion on Elaser and the future of AoE 4 if StarCraft 2 players come over. Elaser, for those that don't know, is a StarCraft 2 pro that is slowly kind of transitioning, switching over to Age of Empires 4. He started, I can't remember exactly when he started, but he took like a month and a half break or something like that. He went back to StarCraft for a tournament, and now he's back at AoE 4. And so he's been playing for 3-4 months, I would say. 3-4 months of playing for Elaser, and obviously Vortix is Vortix. He's been playing for a while. He's one of the best players in AoE4, and so on and so forth. Now, Elaser has been grinding ladder, and he has beaten like a lot of players that are like top 20 or top 30, but Vortix, I think, is the highest rated player that he has beaten, right? So a lot of people are like obviously hyped about it, you know, because there's this new guy and he beat one of the top players, so people want to know more about it. So another thing about Elaser is he has, like, initially he started playing French, then I think he played, I can't remember the exact order, but he played French, he played JD, he played HRE. Malian and Delhi, from what I know, did not go too well. His best civs were probably French, HRE, and Rus. He played some Lancaster too, but Elaser doesn't play all those civs at the same time. Like, he's not playing all of them and picking like one time this civ, one time that civ. He just plays one civ and focuses on it for like multiple weeks. So I would say he probably has a good grasp on only one civ at the time, but he is learning other civs and how they work. So mechanically he's good, but he cannot play multiple civs at like very good level. Let's just say that. So he has been about 1,600, 1,700 elo for the past while, and he has, from what I know, about 50 games with Rus, and he went from 1.7 to almost 2,000 elo. As you guys know or don't know, Rus is one of the best civilization at the top level, and the reason why Elaser is probably doing so well is because if you have good mechanics, the game plan with Rus is very simple. So, you know, it just make horse archers, make some knights, horsemen, cavalry, whatever, and just kind of go. So he's doing pro scouts, I'm assuming, into just mass units. So his elo jumped quite a lot, and now with the Rus, I think he's about rank 30 to 40 in the world on ladder. But again, this is not rank 30 to 40 with like 10 civs. He's ranked 30 to 40 with one civ, which is Rus, one of the best civs in the game. So I'm kind of giving you guys the history so that we're all on the same page. Now, if Vortix played against Elaser 10 times, maybe even like 30 times, Elaser maybe wins once or twice, but I'm sure that Vortix would win majority of those. So, a lot of people are like, does this mean that Elaser is gonna dominate a tournament soon? You know, what's gonna happen? He is very long way from that. And I'm gonna talk about StarCraft 2 players coming over a little bit later. Hopefully I don't forget. But yeah, so let's see what he did. So mechanically, like I said, Elaser is very good. He lacks a lot of game knowledge, which is obviously happens with every RTS, but especially with AoE4, just because there's 18 civilizations and there is billion matchups that you need to know, and the maps play a role in it as well. So yeah. Now in this matchup specifically, Vortix is playing JD into Rus. Now, I don't think Rus counters JD, but, you know, or not a lot of civs are good against Rus in the first place, right? So let's see, we'll check Elaser's POV. So he's got a barracks, because there's a knight coming, so he's just gonna probably move on to pro scouting. Pro scouting is being researched. Fucking love that. He's got 9 on wood. He's getting a stable too. Okay. JD is leveled up, and also Vortix is going pro scouting. So he's just going to be pro scouting versus pro scouting. I haven't seen this game. So pro scouting versus pro scouting, and JD is out. That JD is a little bit spicy because there's a knight coming, and if that JD stays there, she's going to be very dead soon. And that's probably going to be happening. So the reason I think Vortix gets caught here, it's not very common to open knight. Like maybe you go horseman or maybe you just go archers. So he opens with a knight, and that JD is definitely going to go down. So that's going to give a laser a pretty good time getting these deer, and at the same time Vortix is pro scouting his side of the map. So pretty normal, pretty standard. Vortix he's making buildings like you would with French to put a keep, but he's playing JD. Kind of funny. Okay, from here on out, laser just goes probably fast castle. He's trying to deny the deer on the other side. But Vortix is making more units. He's turning up the heat right now. He is going for it, if you will. Okay, he's got some eco upgrades. High trade house. I mean, for a laser right now, everything looks pretty good. You know, nothing bad. Like, it just looks like a pretty standard-ish game. Okay, night harassment. One thing that's pretty cool, I think, is that because the laser comes from StarCraft and he hasn't played AoE for as long as the rest of us did, he probably has some, like, different insight, like, different way of thinking compared to the rest of us, right? So he might, not only him, but if StarCraft players come over, they might bring something new, like different styles or different ways of thinking about things and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty cool. Oh, he cancels the monastery. I'm not sure why he has wood for it. Probably a mistake. I mean, I don't think he misclicked, I'm just saying he made a mistake canceling it. Triple stable, triple archer ranges. Vortix is now castle. Okay. Oh, maybe he was worried he's getting all in, so he's making more production. But no one really all-ins on Rus, because that's pretty hard. Okay, horse archers are there, +2 ranged attack coming. Ooh, loses 4 horse archers there, that was pretty bad. But yeah, I think the hardest part for JD in this game is like getting to this point. I think now it's a bit better for JD than the start of the game. Because sometimes you can get caught with JD, you're in feudal and the Rus is in castle and you just can't age up. So in this position, I'm not saying Vortix is ahead, but a good position to be in compared to what it coulda, woulda, shoulda be. Okay, oh, he almost prevents the decap, but not quite. Both players spamming units. I feel like Vortix needs, I feel like he needs crossbows. He's still making archers because he's sniping horse archers with his archers. Pushing very aggressively. So this is right now not looking good for a laser. And I kind of wonder if, I don't know how many times Vortix played against the laser. Because maybe he thought, you know, he's not, maybe he thought like, oh, the laser's like 1.6k, 1.7k rated, I can just push in here, YOLO. And then maybe took too bad of a fight here. So he's trading pretty well. JD is like 3rd into level 4, which is pretty good. And Vortix is still playing aggro. Like at this point, Rus should have full map control. Oh, yoink. Yoink. Okay. So this looks pretty good for Vortix, to be fair. Now Laser is on the boar. He was on the berries. And Laser is kind of looking out of food. Vortix still has the boar, still has the berries, has the berries here, has the berries here. So the reason why Vortix has a lot more food is because he's using less food to produce units, and because of Consecrate ability, he's literally using less food to make units. Like his knights are only 105 food. Okay, he's gonna send a little raid here. Double wooden fortress coming. And yeah, Laser is looking pretty much out of food in like a couple of minutes. Some knight harassment. I'm surprised that Vortix stopped pushing, because he was trading pretty well, and then he decides to just go back. He captures all 3 sacred sites. Red Palace age up as well. Second TC on the stone. Where's the Red Palace? Am I blind? Oh, here. I am blind. Turns out I was blind. Okay, he's gonna Red Palace into big gold. Not bad. And right now, this is looking much better for Vortix, so I kind of wonder what happened here. Like, if I pause the game right here, and you ask me who's gonna win, I say JD for sure. For sure. Like, he traded really well. Look at the destruction value. He has been trading really well. He got 2 relics against Rus, right? Which is really good. He's getting sacred sites. He's holding sacred sites, which is pretty nice. Okay, he's gonna engage here. I don't think this is gonna go too well for a Laser. JD goes down, which is kind of bad, but if she tanks a lot of damage and you can just res her, it's kind of worth it if she dies, because the enemy focused a lot of, like, shots to kill her. He's upgrading Archer. Okay, you don't want to lose JD again. Oh my god, Laser fucked up there. He was shooting and then he canceled the shot. And by the way, he's fighting under Arbalest TC. So this TC is fucking cranking right now. That was not a good fight. He just gave JD a shit ton of XP. But again, I mean, let's see what happens. Second TC for Vortix. And the Laser's still on 1. JD dies again. Cannot buy her back this time around. Okay, now he's kind of getting in there. And I think Vortix, for some reason... Oh no, he was killing villagers and he moved away. Vortix has no food gathering. He's got 25 on food, but he just put them here. Look at this. So he has not been producing units. And Rus has been cranking units the whole time. Like, look at Vortix's production. It's just all idle. I feel like maybe Vortix thought that the Laser's gonna age up or something, and he just put a lot of workers on wood and gold to like get upgrades and stuff, like 2.2k gold. But it just did not go his way, like, at all. And now he took a little bit of beating. Oh god, more workers are dying here. Okay, good raids by Laser. Yeah, this is the annoying part, because he's just getting, like, cavalry running through his base, and he has no units to defend. JD is almost level 3, which is pretty good for him. The Laser doesn't have a wooden fortress here, which is a problem. Okay, he's gonna dive again. 9 knights. Okay, so I think what happened was Vortix controlled this game pretty well. He aged up to Imperial, and then he just wanted to get a lot of the upgrades and kind of went too greedy. Because when JD or French age up, people don't usually dive TCs because of the Arbalest upgrade. And I would even say the first fight went pretty well for Vortix, but he had no production behind it. He was not on the boar, and now he's still not because he got pushed off. He's not on the boar, he's not on these berries, and he wasn't on these berries either. So he just wasn't gathering food at all. And then he switched to gold in the guild hall. And then I'm assuming he interrupted it and switched back to food because his food situation is pretty bad. And now he's kind of stuck here with 3.3k gold. What he could do is like maybe get a market, buy wood, and get some farms going or something, because right now he's just making archers because they're the cheapest on food. That's the only reason. He would love to make something else, but more raids at the bottom. And this TC, so this TC, by the way, looks really bad, right? Like, why would you put your TC there? Well, if you had map control, right, this TC would have been fine. Like, it wouldn't die or anything like that. But because he just lost all the units and he can't really move out, then this TC is very exposed, even though it's fucking butchering those knights. Holy shit, he's losing so many knights on TC. I think he lost like 6 knights there. Another TC here. And one of the things you can do as JD here, funnily enough, is just mass TCs, because they are basically like mini keeps. Oh my god, he missed it! Oh no, he missed him. Okay, now he's gonna lose some more knights here. But he is gonna kill this in the end. So he's doing good pickoffs. You know, he got the sacred site. He got the farming going. You got the good eco upgrades, right? So what a laser needs now, and I think this is where lack of experience comes in. Like, what he needs to do now is age up and immediately go bombards. That's what he needs. Like, he's literally fighting against static defense right now. So he needs to circumvent that. And in order to circumvent that, you don't keep diving. Like, you've done your damage, right? You've done enough damage. What you need to do now is you need to actually end the game, right? Not just keep pushing and keep denting in. Because you're not really progressing in any, meaningful way, right? Like, you're killing villagers, but he's on like 3 TCs again, even though you just destroyed 2. And you can see destruction value is way higher for Vortix. Like, Vortix killed 10,000 resources more worth of units. Think about that. So now the buildings are gonna start getting torched down. And again, you can see he's just running around, right? He cannot attack into Red Palace. This is just not... You just can't. And he gets decapped, which is really bad. The Sacred Site was on 7 minutes. So he could have just went for Sacred Site victory. Now that gets decapped. And now we're kind of back to square one. And what's happening is the game is stabilizing right now. He's making more production. Where's his landmark? He has no siege at all. He just continues to make cavalry. And you can see Vortix just knows, okay, I just need to sit in my base and do nothing and try to come back. He's gonna do some raids just to distract the laser. A Red Palace there, you don't want to go there. Still no siege workshop. He's just making more units. Now, making mass units like this is fine if you had the sacred sites. But he's about to get decapped again. And even though he is winning, if you look at the destruction value, it's getting worse and worse for a laser. So he is trading worse and worse and worse. And over time, Vortix will get more and more value. Where's his... Where's JD? So he has the consecration on a lot of the production buildings. You should put it on town centers too. Now he's got incendiary arrows. And now, suddenly, the game looks a lot worse for a laser. He's still ahead, but it looks a lot worse than it was earlier. And I think maybe this is the point where Vortix is like, oh shit. Or not now, but earlier. He's like, oh shit, I'm gonna lose. So now he's trying his best to come back into the game. Again, he's pushing, but he's trading so inefficiently against the Red Palace. Like this Red Palace, I don't know if you guys see, but every time he shoots, it just fucking one-shots a unit. And he shoots fast. Look, he loses everything again. 20,000 resources now. Now he's making siege workshops. Even trebs here would be game winning. If you made 3 trebs and pushed from here to here, it's over. The red circles are going on everywhere. Vortix doing some raiding, try to distract them. Sacred Side decapped again, by the way, which again should have been Sacred Side win already. Oh my god, he's making more farms? Okay, you do not need that many farms, brother. You gotta calm down. You do not need that many farms. Horse archers. Okay. Yeah, I mean, from this point on, I think Elazer is just... Look at that gate. I think Elazer is just too far ahead, and he has been too far ahead for a while. The problem is he can't end the game, which is kind of the issue, right? Sacred Side gets decapped again. Like, more things that Elazer could have, should have done is he could have also just done mass keeps, like 3 keeps on each Sacred Side. That would make it impossible for Vortix to push. And in that case, as Rus, you don't need, what's it called? In that case, as Rus, you wouldn't need siege, because if you make your own keeps and you force the opponent to come out to Sacred Sites, because otherwise you win, then in that case, you can mass units and just overwhelm your opponent. Like now he makes bombards, but the timing is missed. So like these 5 bombers that he made, if he made them earlier, he would have won the game. But now Vortix has so many horsemen, these bombers are gonna die. Which is kind of the problem. He's making a keep here. And I'm assuming he's just gonna try slow push. See that? Now you can just jump on top of the siege. Makes it a lot harder for Elazer to defend. Loses a lot of the bombards. And now the game, again, he's still ahead. But if you look at the villager count, Vortix raided his ass. 75 villagers now to 100. So Elazer lost a shit ton of workers. But the engagement he just took, because he wasn't diving like TCs and shit for a while, is now only 10k difference. He's gonna make more bombards. He's gonna run into TC a little bit. Lose some more units. Look at those units. Orange on the floor. Just getting wrecked. More horsemen coming. This is actually the point where if Elazer takes another bad raid back at his base, he is put in an all-in situation where if he doesn't win the game, it's going to be over, simply because of the worker difference. He's still holding the sacreds. Yeah, this is the point where like you want to build keeps. Oh, I mean, the problem is now if you build keeps, he has cannons, so you can just kind of destroy them. But they're still pretty good to prevent random decaps and stuff. So I'm just gonna ×8 because I feel like this game is. I mean, we know the outcome. We see more raiding and Elazer's dropping more and more villagers. The red palace goes down. All the farming eco for Vortix is gonna go down too. Sacred sites are taken 3 minutes away. And I love how Elazer is just not even considering the sacred site victory. Because he's not even doing the walls around sacred sites. He's just doing the walls to prevent his opponent reaching his side of the map. But this is kind of what I mean. You don't need siege or keeps if you just mass like a huge army and you can just run into these units and kill them all. He gets decapped once again. Getting decapped in these kinds of games is really, really bad. And Vortix is just making more town centers. Which is hilarious. I think Vortix lost 4 or 5 town centers this game. And he just remakes them again. Because they're kind of like mini keeps, so they serve multi-purpose. I mean, at this point, like, if your laser doesn't win here, or does, like, severe damage, I kind of like Vortix's position. So Vortix right now, because of all the raids, put the laser in an all-in position, aka, you have to all-in, or you're going to die, like, long-term due to economy difference. Now, if you look at the laser's eco, 51 on food, 16 on wood. So he's just producing horsemen and horse archers right now. But 70 workers against 123 is a massive difference, plus consecration on the buildings, further reducing their cost. He only has 2 landmarks remaining, by the way. This is the last one. Oh, Red Palace is repaired, never mind. So now, another problem is when you have these kinds of games, which is kind of funny how it works. When you kill a bunch of opponents' villagers, you actually, in a way, help them, potentially, by freeing up their supplies. So now your laser's army supply is 125, like, with the siege and the units, versus 50, what is it, 58, 56, 58. So this is why it's like an all-in situation, because the enemy has more units, they have less eco, so you kind of have to end the game. But the Rus is OP as fuck, so you can see he's got 825 gold, and that's passive gold. He's not even mining that, like, that's just passive gold cranking. So another landmark goes down. And I think we're nearing the end over here. He's doing a wall here. Okay, he's pulling a Louis. Oh my god, that's a Louis MT wall right there, but 12 bombards? Yeah, he's just cranking him. The thing is, this is the laser's army, right? In units, and this is just a siege. So these bombards, it is an overkill, but in this game, it's a benefit because those bombards are basically what Vortix has in villagers. So the bombards are just butchering everything. Like, they're adding a lot of DPS to the units, and you also got the upgrade for the bombards, which makes them do bonus 125 damage versus infantry. Sheesh. Basically destroying it. So now he's gonna do more raids, and Rus, look at his eco. 2.2k food per minute with 34 villagers on food. That's wild. I mean, now it's gonna drop off because he just lost some more, but again, he got freed up some more supply. And now the army is just too big. That's right. He's just cranking everything down. And the game ends. Well played by Laser. Well played, well played. Vortix, well played too. You almost came back, but not quite. That was an interesting game. It was a cool game. Now, what do I think about it? Is the Laser the next GOAT? That's what we're all here to find out. I think the Laser is obviously good. Like, mechanically, like I said, he is good. Like, he comes from StarCraft and he was a pro player there. Still is. I don't know what the situation is. So while he is mechanically good and, you know, going on the way to the top, aka competitive level, you don't just overnight start beating every pro player, right? The way it works is if you're, let's say, 2k rated player, 1.8k, you beat a rank 30 guy, then you beat a rank 25 guy, then you lose to a rank 30 guy, then you beat the rank 30 guy twice, then you beat the rank 25 guy, then you lose twice, then you start winning a lot more against rank 30s, like more consistently. Then every once in a blue moon, you beat top 10 player, right? But then you get wrecked 20 times in a row. But then after a month, you beat top 10 player 3 times, and then you wrecked a bunch of times in a row. So it's a very slow process, right? So while beating a top player can mean like a positive thing and a good thing, it doesn't necessarily mean like, yeah, in 6 months he's gonna dominate. Because, and this is the most important thing, mechanically he is there, for sure. Like, he can play mechanically. Now, the issue that Elazer runs into is the draft. And not just the draft, but multiple civilizations. Now, this, he might get there, I'm not saying he's not, but that is the hardest thing in Age of Empires 4. By far. It's not, knowing how to play one civ is not what's difficult in Age of 4. And I know this might sound silly, but for tippity top level players, like pro gamers in other RTS games, it's not really hard to get Conqueror 3. What's hard is reaching that level where you're beating other players with multiple civilizations. So these are all the civilizations in Age of Empires 4 right now. So Elazer's civ, aka Rus, he plays that now, is, let's say, 2k rated. His Delhi, not that great. 1.6, I don't know if he peaked more than that. Okay, so this is the current situation of his civilizations. Now, have in mind that, again, he doesn't pick like different civs in one day. He's just been playing Rus for like days and days, right? So if he's now 2k rated, let's say. If he went to play HRE, he wouldn't be 2k rated with HRE. He would get destroyed at 2k rated with HRE. And even at 750, he might even go down a bit because he hasn't played it in a while, right? But in order for him to get Rus, HRE, Delhi, French, Malian, and JD, which are the civs that he has played already, to get them to 2k would probably take him another, I would say, probably 1 to 2 months. And I think that might be very generous. Okay, 1 to 2 months. So in that case, let's say he gets all the civs at 2k rating, okay? All these civs that he has played already, which would be great, don't get me wrong. But now this is the thing. 2000 rating is not actually pro level. 2000 rating is like you're entering a point where you're around top 30-ish on the ladder, which is not in the tournament. The top players, I would say, like the top 10 players are like 2,300 rated plus on the ladder, if you want to take ladder in consideration. I think rank right now is 2,420 or something like that. So I think rank 1 right now is this. But ladder rank doesn't mean equals to skill, right? Even if he pushes all these civs to 2,200, I would say that's when he can start taking best of 3s or best of 5s from the top 10 to 20 players, okay? I would say around that ELO would be good, assuming he can play multiple civs. And this doesn't even take into consideration he needs to learn China. I'm not gonna say he needs to learn every civ, because not even top players play every civ, but let's say he needs to learn China, he needs to learn Lancaster, KT, Biz, Jushi, and Mongol. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 civilizations to learn, at the very least, right? I'm not even gonna put English, Abbasid, Japanese Ibid, OTD. Let's just exclude those. So realistically, assuming he practices like 6 to 8 hours a day, we're looking at 4 to 6 months to be able to contest top 16 in the tournaments. Not contest, to beat them. I would say that would be my timeline suggestion. Because the problem isn't, I actually think Elazer, if he plays another 5 days, he can probably push Rus to 2.2k. So like in 5 days, he can push this to 2.2k. But the thing is, every time you play other civs, and the more civs you play, your skill with the civs you're not playing goes down. Do I think Elazer's got what it takes to be a pro player in A4? I think so. I also think he needs a lot more time, and that's not because he's like bad or he's dumb or something. Like all of us that are high rated in A4 have been playing for a while, and this is just the nature of, to be fair, any competitive game at this point. It doesn't matter how good you are at games, it just takes a very long time because a lot of the games are very in-depth and have a lot of specific things you need to know and learn, and there's no shortcuts. Like, if he starts playing China tomorrow, I can't give him a shortcut like, oh yeah, this is how you play against this civ, and now suddenly you unlock everything that that matchup has to offer. You gotta play a shit ton in order to understand China and other matchups, and also you gotta keep your skill level with other civilizations. So now, to answer the question, what does this mean for AoE 4 if StarCraft 2 pros come over? This is a thing that I see every once in a while, and obviously StarCraft has had that thing where they don't know if they're gonna have more tournaments or it's dead or what's happening. I assume after the tournament that's happening in the, is it in Saudi Arabia? The StarCraft 2 World Championship, or whatever you want to call it. I do think a lot of the StarCraft 2 pros will most likely quit because there doesn't seem to be like any follow-up with ESL from what I know, that if there's going to be tournaments after that or next year or whatever. There's going to be some smaller tournaments, but players that are full-time in StarCraft, if they cannot make money full-time, they're probably going to dip, right? So what's going to happen if, let's say, 20 StarCraft 2 pros come over? To be completely honest, I think a lot of them would fail for different reasons, and some of them would be very successful. One of the players that, I've always said this, but one of the players that I think would do really well is Serral, and would probably do the best out of any StarCraft 2 player switching over. Not because he's Serral, but for those that don't know, Serral has been playing AoE 4 since release. Like, literally, he's constantly been playing since release of the game. So he's been playing AoE 4 for the past 3-4 years. Now, he doesn't play every day, and he doesn't play 1v1s. He's been playing 2v2s. He did play 1v1s in release. He's been playing 2v2s, but he plays them every few days. He plays with Zugalian, which is also, he's also from Finland. I have played them in team games. I think I played with Corvinus 2v2s, and we ran into them on the ladder. I'm pretty sure it's on my YouTube channel. And they were pretty good. So Serral, all the game knowledge that the laser is chasing right now, Serral already has that to an extent. Now, he doesn't have a perfect understanding of the meta, but he knows how every civ works. He plays every civilization. He knows the timings. He can emulate build orders very well. Like when House of Lancaster came out, I made a build order for it, and about I don't know how many, 5-6 days later, we met Serral in 2v2, and Serral was doing the build that I did the build order guide on. So he can clearly emulate the builds very easily, and if Serral were to switch, he has years of experience in a lot of things that just takes time. Yeah, as far as the other StarCraft 2 pros, I mean, honestly, a lot of it is going to come down to how well they can transition. I've said this already, and I'll say it again, but StarCraft 2 and AoE 4 are not similar in any way, and I think just because you're mechanically good in StarCraft 2 doesn't mean that you will be automatically good in AoE 4. I think brute forcing, like mechanics, so what I mean by that is just playing on I'm going to multitask and I'm just going to attack everywhere and I'm just going to have a clean build order, can only work until a certain point. And I think a lot of the StarCraft 2 guys can bulldoze their way to top 20 on the ladder in 3-4 months. But after that, once they have to open up their civ pool to like 10-15 civilizations, I think that's when the problem comes in. So let's say 20 players switch over tomorrow. We're looking at a minimum of 6 months of them practicing 8 hours a day to have a chance to start beating top 16 or top 20 players. That's the skill difference that we're talking about. Realistically, it's going to take them about 2 to 3 months to start beating top 16 players or maybe even top 10 players, sometimes with OP civs. But you're not going to see, StarCraft 2 Pro beating Marine Lord or me with like Ottoman and we're playing China or HRE or Rus. Like, that's just not going to happen. Yeah, I think it's super exciting if they do switch over. I think having more competition and having like fresh blood in the scene is really cool. So I hope they do that. And yeah, and not to mention, we're going to have new DLC at the end of this year, right? So the game will kind of have a soft reset. So if anyone is switching over right now, they will have the chance to not learn from the scratch with everybody else, but at least the meta is going to change, so we're not going to be as knowledgeable. So now it's a pretty good time to get in, learn the basics, and then learn the meta with the rest of us. So there it is. Shout out to Laser, shout out to Vortix, both chads. Laser cooking. We'll see what it can do. I'm super excited if Laser keeps practicing, becomes like competitive, plays tournaments, because I think it'd be pretty fun to follow him and his journey and all that. So that's it. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks so much for watching. And if we're watching live, or you're watching live, not we, I'm not watching myself live, let's keep going.